to tell you more about social media. But as Stoppy mentioned, and as you know, the purpose of this meeting, the reason you're here, is to look at how the internet can improve your business. To really examine all the things you hear about the internet and other business successes. You know, this business, do I look at traditional advertising? Do I consider direct mail, those kinds of things? Really, where's the internet play in all of this? Well, I'm here this morning to tell you more about what social media means to your business. So what I'm going to do is present a few facts. And I should also mention that there are very credible sources that consider social media the largest shift in our culture and in our economy and in the world's position since the Industrial Revolution. And the evidence is all around us. And we are at the front of the wave on social media. You need to know, and I'm calling this part of the presentation this morning a paradigm shift. Because every time I meet with clients and go to meetings, there really is a misunderstanding where the paradigm on social media is sort of entrenched. What I'd like to do today with all the things I'm going to show you and tell you about, see if we can shift that thinking. Because we are at the top of the wave. It's just not even cresting yet. It's just really starting. What you will learn today in the months to come is that social media will dominate. It'll dominate a lot of areas, and as you probably know, Facebook is the reason for this. There's a lot of social networks. There were plenty of social networks before Facebook came onto the scene, but since February of 2004, just 7 years ago, Facebook has introduced fan pages 1 year ago. Just 4 months ago, Facebook introduced a powerful list of utilities to be used on Facebook, and just 3 days ago, Facebook announced Facebook Deals, which we'll talk more about. But I digress a little bit. Let me explore 6 key aspects of social media. As I said, is it a fad? We're going to talk about that. Is it useful for your business? What are the facts? What are the facts? And what's the real true facts about what social media means to your business? We'll talk about that. What is the financial impact of social media on your business? How do you maximize social media? And also, do you really know that social media now is viewed as the mark of leadership for a company? If you have a strong social media presence, whether you're consumer goods, industrial goods, whether you're a B2C or a B2B company, it really is the mark of leadership. So, I'd like to take just a very quick little tour, kind of go back in time a little bit, and look at the history of technology on the internet. Obviously, in the 90s, we got our first look at really becoming comfortable with the internet. It was strange, it was misunderstood in the beginning. But in the 90s, we did see new branding imagery, companies beginning to make a real statement of their organization, separate from radio, TV, and other forms of advertising. Prominent designs emerged. The rise of a technology called Flash, most of you probably know that, PHP, and a lot more. And we got comfortable with this technology, and we began to use it. But we go into the 2000s, what I like to call the rockin' 2000s, from a technological perspective, because significant advancements occurred. New browsers emerged. The once mighty Internet Explorer lost its hold on users. There was a day, that was it. That was the only browser there was. That's not the case, as you all know. New JavaScript languages began being used. And the biggie, the real biggie here, is that social media hit the scene in the 2000s, led by Facebook. And that's where we are now. There we go. Current situation is we're in a new world. As Stoppy was pointing out, 25% of searching is occurring on mobile devices. And I'm a victim, just like he said. I use my smartphone in front of my computer to search. It's just a habit. That's where we are today. What's interesting is that even though Facebook is just 7 years old, they hit 500 million users just 9 months ago, in July of last year. But let's look at today, more of today, and really get an understanding that It's really about Facebook, and Mark Zuckerberg, as they say, is the man. And the numbers prove it. In January, I just said 7 months ago, he hit 500 million. In January, Bloomberg announced that they now have 600 million users. And they boast an astonishing 800,000 new accounts every day. 800,000 new accounts every day. Is there any question about where people spend time? Okay, let's just address the question of what's the financial impact of social media on your business. Well, the only way to know this is to develop a strategy if you don't have one. To get started and do it. But really, it's better to ask yourself the question, what is the financial impact on my business by avoiding social media? Today, it's at the front of the wave, I'm okay, and maybe I say, in 10 months, I tell you, there have been a number of these kinds of seminars. I've been watching people talking about it, people doing it. You need to get moving. It's sort of like one person said, what was the cost? You just kind of go through this little extra. What's the cost to conduct this seminar today? Well, it's a lot put together. What was the cost to you this morning to come to this meeting? Well, probably a few hours of your time, right? What's the cost of avoiding social media? Well, it's priceless. It cost you. So, how to maximize social media? I'd like to address a couple of things. First, get started now. And Facebook first. There's plenty to do in social media, but Facebook is the place to start, no doubt. 600 million users, 800,000 new accounts every single day. Go with leading networks that are relevant to your business. YouTube may be very relevant. MySpace may be very relevant. Yelp may be very relevant. It just depends, but you need to develop those strategies. You should create your brand for digital media and for social media in particular. You may have a brand, and you want to maintain the integrity of that brand, but you need to develop that brand for digital media. And there's a step there. You need to make sure you do that. So many companies throw up their branding and their imagery based upon their business paradigm from 20 years ago, or 10 years ago, 5 years ago. They really need to look at it from the standpoint of the digital world. You should definitely set up a blog, and don't buy into a blog won't work for me story you've heard a million times, because it will, if you do it right. When I meet with clients, they tell me that we have a Facebook page. I go, oh, great, and they do. It looks terrible. And they haven't posted to it in over 3 months. There's something that's very important about social media. Social media can work against you too, if you don't do it right. Now, as I mentioned earlier, 4 days ago, Facebook announced Facebook deals. I'm still trying to digest that because we all are familiar with Groupon, probably, and social living. It's a multi-billion-dollar business segment. And Groupon and social living have to attract people to use their service. Facebook now has the Facebook deals, and they have 800,000 new accounts every day to be able to offer a deal to. Wow, I guess I might want to get a deal if I have a company in Facebook and Facebook deals. Something to think about. I know these screens are sometimes hard to read, but this is the new page that just came up on Facebook describing a little bit about how the program works. Basically, it's really simple. Try new things with friends. Get together. Get rewards. Find deals on the go. Do Facebook on your smartphone. Wow, we're going out of town in 2 weeks. Whoa, here's an unbelievable offer on the Facebook deals at the hotel you want to go to. Might want to be linked. You might want your business linked to it. And finally, it's just a shift of your paradigm. As I said, it's about the math, the sheer number of people using various social media networks. People recognize that companies with social media presence are the leaders because they recognize that these networks are being utilized and it's part of our world. It is not going away. One example that we are very familiar with is, all of us are familiar with, is that when a new market opens up in a community, in a city, like somebody tears down some old bad property and they just redevelop it into something, who would you expect to see first there in the fast food market? Well, it's easy. McDonald's, right? That's right, because they are the fast food leader. Now, there are other leaders in fast food, and they get there very quickly too. But ask yourself this: how much longer do I avoid developing a social media strategy?